Alright, so I'm going to show you how to make your trigger better on your M57 and possibly some other similar variants, and show you how to really strip this thing down. And we'll have this guy here for a comparison because that's my fancy one I ain't touching. So first we drop our mag, and if I sound tired it's because I just got off work. I have a job, so that's nice. Cock our hammer back and unload our chamber. If you're not sure your chamber is unloaded, just what you do is you cock the hammer back and just point it at the screen and squeeze. It's like Russian roulette but with memory loss. Yeah, and we use our magazine here to pop our plate and rack it back so it cocks our hammer and feels good. We set this stuff on top of the bacon sunflower seeds, and we pull our fire control group out, and we go down in here and we move this little, use the extractor in our fire control group, or no, I guess the extractor's on the other side, but yeah, we just kind of go into grip and do a, yeah, you could use a screwdriver, but I'm lazy. I like to use only the gun to work on the gun. You can see I've finagled this thing a bit more to not stick and be usable, even though I'm never going to use it. And again, we want to take the grip off on the other side. We can... Alright, we're done with all that stuff. And you want to drop your trigger. You're a little confused how? If you look in here, you stick our pinky in. You can watch from the side and push the pinky in. Then if you push down, you'll realize it won't go down any far. But if you push it in from up here, cut pops right out. And we'll put it right back in because that took me a bit to figure out. So yeah, see that, put it back in. So you push down here, then you push up here, and it just drops right out. Real easy. Then you can lift this up. This is your spring that controls how much tension is on your trigger. You can kind of push down on here and flatten this bend out a little, but if you look, it looks a little wavy, and that's because I use the prongs on a fork. I spent a lot of time fine-tuning this, making the trigger weigh exactly what I wanted it to weigh, and I actually took a fork and propped it in here and added slight bends along here to make the spring tension more or less, so I'm not constantly stressing out this point, and I could do several adjustments without risking damaging the spring, because if you bend metal a bunch of times it'll snap. And that was all what I had to do here. So when we find our little end with that little loopy loop there, and we drop her in here, and yep, and then we can take our trigger spring and yep. And by the way, I'd recommend on assembly, you might as well just make sure you clean and oil everything. And you know, I got a much lighter trigger now. It's perfectly to what I want. And for popping this out, popping these pins out, what I ended up doing was oh, where the heck are they? Oh, crap. Oh, crap. There they are. Yeah. I used I improvised. I didn't want to suck up whatever this was, so I took a star bit. Why won't you go in? Okay. So I looked at this, and I took a... Or did I take a hex? Yeah, I think I took this. Great, my hands are oily because I've been touching a gun. So I took our little hex here and I put... So I took our little hex here and I put it in here, and then I, oh man, I don't want to pound this thing out, but I have to show you. Alright, now what was I using as a hammer? Probably the handle of the screwdriver. Oh boy. Yeah, see my little rod here is on the bent side, so it extra doesn't want to come out. Oh, come on. Ah! That was under spring tension, and I did not lose my part. Good. And you still got all this oil up in here, so what I end up doing is you got I won't be able to show you that too well, but if you look here, there's a little surface inside here that has an angle on it that might look a bit rough. And you got a little surface here that has a bit of an angle to it that might look a bit rough. Mine is no longer rough. It is very smooth and flat and consistent. What I did wouldn't exactly be considered the proper thing, but you see I got this Dremel here and it has a really low RPM mode, and I put the smaller drill bit in it, or not drill bit, sanding bit in it, the finest grit, and I put it in here and I just kind of found my angle, perfectly lined it up, and just kind of went back like this, real slow to going, oh, I'll hook it up so you can understand what I mean by low RPM. It was faster than hand sanding, but this allows me to have a consistent angle, so yeah, we're just running in that mode, and I was just very carefully making sure to keep a consistent angle and lightly going back and forth till I had a perfectly little polished polished blah 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 there. And I did not have any sandpaper or anything like that to do this to get down in here here. So what I ended up doing, so yeah, I had the pin the whole way out, and I had this little sear here removed, and to get up in there I actually took one of the half wore out wheels, sand wheels from my Dremel, one of the larger ones. I cut it up with a pair of scissors till I had a firm little strip that I could stick in there, and then just kind of match the angle and just rub it back and forth. And I just did that for a few minutes, just moving it back and forth. I put it together, and I oiled everything when I put it back together, and I actually had a couple bit of concerning. It was like, oh, why didn't it? I squeezed the trigger and it didn't go, and then when I let go it went. But then after a couple times of doing that, it all of a sudden changed and was beautiful and crispy, and oh my, what a trigger. Oh. I blame you, YouTube. Shouldn't have asked me to take this apart. Because if I didn't take it apart, you'd be like, why didn't you take it apart? I can't see what you're talking about. What point of making the video if you weren't making the video? Make the video. Come on. Yeah. Oh, come on. Alright. You know what? I think I know I can partially speed this up. There, that'll somewhat get me in the right grip. Because I'm occupying that space, not allowing this to go up. Yeah, that made my life easier. We in on the other side yet? Nope. Needs a few more taps. I'm getting pissed off because I'm dropping shit and I'm getting uncomfortably hot. And the fucking collar's all popped up in my shirt, making me look like Count Dracula. Of course, there's probably a slight bit of crookedness going on that's not allowing the pin to go through. Hey, that worked. Now the pen looks about centered. All right. Good. Now we can actually put this thing together. So we'll put our safety lever in. No, we'll put our grips on. We'll put one of the grips on. Alright, now that grip's on. We'll put the safety lever in. You want to have it in the safe position. Actually, you don't want to have it, but I also don't like having a hole in the side of my frame. And this is the crap that America makes us do. We have to have stupid holes in our frame because we can't have the gun work the way it was built to work. That'd be too dangerous. Oh boy. Thank you, government. I'm glad you have my best interest in mind. And, alright, give me a second to wipe my hands off because I have fire control group oil all over me. Alright. So, this is kind of hard to show on video, but I'm going to vary. The triggers are chunkier when they're stock, and you can see it kind of just gives out. It kind of binds at a point. But if you compare that to El Mato, which something I cannot compare, is it takes half as much force to pull this. But if you just feel it, it's just slow, controlled, boom. So nice. Man, I really wish I had some ammo. I mean, I have ammo, but I'm not willing to shoot it. I wish I had more ammo, so I was willing to shoot. It's so good. It's like an orgasm every time you pull the trigger. Ready for concealed carry.